Alright, so back another video. We're back with another reaction. Today, we have our very first ever Jimmy High Roller reaction vid. We are witnessing history in the making. Let's check it
How
out.
do you know when someone is the most valuable player in the NBA? Is it strictly based
Curry,
off of
man.
producing wins for their team? Do you
100
factor in
kicks.
the historic significance
Tatum's.
of their performances game after game? Is it about being the most
Kunpo.
versatile and
Shy.
complete player? Or maybe it's
Shea
a
Butter.
combination of all of these things?
Ja.
There's no exact science behind the elusive NBA MVP award and who we determine who
Devin
it
Booker.
is. But what happens when a dozen different players are playing like the most valuable player, but only one of them can go home with the award?
Don. Jimmy High.
Today's video is sponsored by Turn-Based.
Shout out to Ray.
Live, guys, you cripple lived
And
up.
the can Ray.
Right now. $1 in
Not
regular season
here
MVP award was voted on by the players. You would think this method of deciding the most valuable player in the NBA was better than what we have today, with members of the media voting for the MVP. This was far from the case. The voting results of some of these seasons was absolute mayhem. Back in 1972, a young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was by far the best player in the NBA, averaging 35 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 assists a game while leading the Bucks to 63 wins. And as a result of playing like Jesus in a Bucks jersey, Kareem walked away that season as the league MVP. But that didn't stop players from voting like they didn't know what MVP even stood for. Because that season, there weren't just a few players who received first place MVP votes. There weren't a handful of players. There wasn't 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 or 16 or 17.
How is there so many first place ties? What is this?
Or 18. But 19 players from 16 different teams who received first place MVP
Bro, everybody's a 900 max.
Votes. But get
what in the world?
This. There were only 17 teams in the NBA at the time, which means nearly every single team in the NBA had a player that received an MVP vote that season.
Yeah, that's great.
And you're probably thinking, some of these players received votes from their teammates or maybe even voted for themselves, but no. The league prohibited players from voting for anyone on their team or voting for themselves. These voting results were
so they all came from the fans?
Completely authentic and completely unhinged. Now this season, there will more than likely not be 19 players who receive MVP votes. In fact, this season is so loaded with all-time elite talent that there will be multiple players who will have historically great seasons this year, and they won't even get a mention for the MVP. Luka, Giannis, Curry, Tatum, Morant, Embiid, Jokic, SGA, Booker, Mitchell, Durant, all playing at an MVP caliber in what is quickly becoming the greatest statistical season in NBA history. If you combine points, rebounds, and assists, here are the combined statistical totals of every MVP in modern NBA history. Sometimes this total is relatively low, like Steve Nash's 2005 MVP, but sometimes it's off the charts, like Russell Westbrook's record-breaking total of 52.7 in 2017. But on average, since 1980, league MVPs had a total of 42 combined points, rebounds, and assists. So if a player can reach this number, 42, it's a solid indicator that they are on a path to becoming the league MVP, or at least a front-runner. This season, SGA, Ja Morant, Tatum, Durant, Curry, Embiid, Giannis, and Luka are all averaging totals of more than 42. This is unheard of, and it's going to leave a tough decision for
that's every all-star in the league right about now.
Of the coveted award. There are currently 6 players across the league who are averaging.
Dang, Doncic averaged 34. Luka averaged 34. Embiid averages 32. Curry with 31, almost 32. Shea with 31. Kunpo with 31 flat, and Tatum with 31 flat.
31 points a game. The last time this many players averaged at least 31 a game was, well, never. In fact, in the last 15
nobody's ever done it before.
Seasons combined, there have been 6 players who averaged at least 31 points per game. Let me say that again. There are as many players averaging at least 31 points per game.
There were the last 15 seasons combined.
This season, as there were players who averaged over 31 points per game in the last 15 seasons combined. The NBA has never seen anything
31
like this.
points is crazy.
And yet the numbers get even crazier. Offensive box plus minus is one of the better statistics at quantifying a player's offensive impact. In fact, here are some of the greatest offensive seasons since the league began tracking the stat back in 1974. Here's Steve Nash's 2006 MVP season. Here's Derrick Rose's MVP season in 2011, right next to Giannis's first MVP season. But we're not even close to the best offensive seasons of all time. Here's Magic Johnson's MVP season in 1990.
Russ,
Here's
KD.
Russell Westbrook's MVP season and Kevin Durant's MVP season. And just above that are the best of the best.
LeBron.
James Harden in 2019, LeBron in 2009, Tracy McGrady in 2003,
Curry,
and
man, all the way at the top by his lonely.
Steph Curry's unanimous
Nice.
MVP season in 2016. Steph remains
Steph
the
Curry.
only player to ever surpass the plus 10 threshold in offensive box plus minus. And this season, he's doing it again.
Yeah, Steph Curry he's inspirational, bro, on and off the court.
But even
Wow.
better, Steph
That's
is currently
crazy.
having statistically the
Steph Curry is really sensational.
best offensive season
Wow.
in modern NBA history. So where does all of this put Steph in the MVP race this season? 10th.
Wait, hold on. Okay, wait, hold on. I gotta see something real quick. That happened a little too fast for me. Wait, what happened? Wait. Okay. I'm telling you right now, the first three are dealt off wins.
10.
But I'm not accepting these three players between Shai, Devin Booker, and Donovan Mitchell to be higher than Curry. Embiid is only number 6 because he dropped 60. All right, and who is number 5?
Where does all of this put Steph in the MVP race this season?
Morant is number 5. Of course, Jokic. He was an MVP 2 times in a row already. Let somebody else be MVP for once.
10th.
Y'all said the same thing about Curry, right? When he went back to back, let somebody else win. That's crazy. So you telling me Mr. Sensational Curry Bowl is number 10?
The man is 10th on the MVP ladder. Now, one of the main reasons why Steph's offensive impact is at an all-time high is due to his mind-boggling efficiency. At this point, it's become universal.
Nobody's doing that in the NBA.
Agreed upon that Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. But this season, he's taken his shooting and scoring to another level. Because at the moment, Steph has the highest true shooting percentage of any player to ever average at least 30 points per game. Or 29 points per game for that matter. Or 28 points, or 27, or 26, or any point per game average, even remotely close.
All these advertisements pop up on the screen. Bro, Curry Bowl is inspirational. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That don't even make sense. Bro, how is that even possible? How is this person right here? Bro, do y'all see how many Steph Currys I'm looking at? And then it's Jared Allen at 16 points per game. Steph Curry has 30 through 17 on lock. But he's number 10 in the MVP race. Are you crazy? Are you serious right now?
27 or 26?
Bro. But we gonna say Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell and Shea Butter is better than Curry. An MVP race right now.
Any point per game average, even remotely close to his. To find a
he's definitely winning the scoring title. If you don't get MVP, he's getting a scoring title.
Player who scored more efficiently than Steph has this season, you have to go all the way down to just 16 points per game from Jared Allen.
When you start seeing Jared Allen and Rudy Gobert, like, bro,
season.
All this is Steph Curry on this
list. But Jared's a big man whose shots consist of 3-foot layups. What about perimeter players? Guys who take jump shots? Well, there has never, ever been a single perimeter player who had a season with a true shooting percentage as high as Steph's is this season. Not at 30 points per game, not at 20, not at 10, not even at 5. It has
never been done.
This season,
ever. This is why Steph Curry deserves an MVP this year. His true shooting percentage is better than anybody ever. Like, what is that?
Than any perimeter player in the history of the NBA while scoring 32 points.
Curry just dominating this list. That's sensational numbers. That's why we call him Curry Bo, because that's impossible. Who's doing that? But he's 10th in the MVP
Per
race. What
game.
is that?
The man
Rigged.
is 10th on
It's
the
scripted.
MVP leaderboard.
It's a scripted
So,
list.
if Steph is 10th, which players could possibly be putting together a better season than him? Well, one of those players is Jason Tatum, who has led the Celtics to
Alright.
one of their best starts in franchise history. Currently, the Celtics
Yeah,
have
I said them first three was dealt off wins.
a net
It
rating of
had to be.
7.7, which is on pace to being the best net rating the organization has had in its entire existence. This season,
Yeah, I
Jason
knew that.
Tatum is averaging 31, 7, and 5 a game, which is a stat line that is so absurd that prior to this
Yeah,
season,
he went from selling in the finals to doing this.
there have only been 3
He's out for
players
revenge,
in
huh?
NBA history to achieve it. Those players were Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Kevin Durant. The man is putting up all-time GOAT level numbers. He
Yeah,
is third.
that's it. Yeah, the first three had to be dealt off on wins, which I figured that. But what makes 4 through 9 better than Curry?
On the MVP
Can you
ladder,
tell me that,
because
Jimmy?
the 2
Right,
players
Rolo?
ahead of him are on path to completely redefining the standard of an all-time great season. Throughout NBA history, there have only been 3 players to win a league MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. Michael Jordan in 1988, Hakeem Olajuwon in 1994, and Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2020. Of all the accomplishments a player can achieve, this might just be the rarest and most impressive.
Oh.
And Giannis might just do it again this season. Because if his record-breaking 2020 MVP campaign wasn't dominant enough, he's somehow replicating those numbers again this season. Giannis is not only averaging 31, 12, and 5 a game, he's doing it while being the best defensive player in the entire NBA. Giannis is playing like a
Tempo.
Shaq, Tim Duncan hybrid right now, and it's just become so
See, this is what I be trying to tell people, bro. Giannis has no time to be getting mad and throwing ladders at people. You know what I mean? Like throwing ladders down because look what he's doing. Look at the numbers he's putting up per game. This is what I be saying. Like people are scared of him. Between him and Russ, y'all gotta learn how to calm down sometimes, bro. Y'all scare people. Y'all charging at people. You throwing ladders down in people's face. He averaging 31, 11, and 5. With 1 steal and 1.1 blocks a game. Yeah, that's crazy.
Giannis is playing like a Shaq, Tim Duncan.
It's a Cunpo.
Last season, en route to winning a second MVP, Nikola Jokic shattered just about every advantage.
Yeah, this is what I do. What is making 4 through 9 better than Curry?
Jokic led the league in win shares, box plus minus, value over replacements, and he set a new all-time record for the highest single-season PER in league history. Now, the old record was one that stood for half a century, when Wilt Chamberlain averaged a modest 50 points and 26 rebounds a game, which earned him a PER of 32.08. For 5 decades, even the best players the league has ever seen could not touch this mark. Not LeBron, not Bird or Shaq, not even Michael Jordan. But Jokic managed to not only break Wilt's record, he shattered it. And this season, Luka Doncic is on pace to beating Jokic's record. At the moment, Luka is averaging 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. So
That's
if
kick.
Jason
The Luka
Tatum's
movement.
stat line was historic,
Luka
what does that
movement.
make Luka's stat line? Well, here's a list of every player in the history of the NBA who has averaged
Yeah.
at least 34
Yeah, I knew that. Before I clicked on this vid, I'm like, it's gonna be something that makes Luka and Akunfo look monstrous.
and 9 a game.
I didn't know that about Tatum though.
That's the whole list. That's it. There's nobody else. Luka is on pace to breaking the NBA. That's the
Every player who has averaged at least 34, 8, and 9 per game in NBA history. Yeah, I don't know anyone. I don't know anybody. It's Luka. That's it.
That's the whole list. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nobody else. Luka is on pace to breaking the NBA record for player efficiency while averaging a damn near 34-point triple-double. And that, ladies and gentlemen, might just be what it takes to win an MVP this season. But what about some of these other players who are having awesome seasons? Well, to put into perspective just how insane you have to be playing right now to even crack the MVP leaderboard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 31 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds a game on 53% shooting while having one of the highest PERs in NBA history. He is 7th on the MVP leaderboard. Kevin Durant is averaging 37 and 5 a game on career-high efficiency. Take a wild guess at where he lands on the MVP leaderboard at the moment. Nowhere. Durant isn't even on the MVP ladder right now. One of the greatest players to
Yeah, it's
ever
toxic.
lace up is in the
Yeah, the
midst of
league is
one of the
stacked.
most productive and
Yeah, league is stacked right now.
efficient seasons of his entire career, and the
League is
man
stacked.
can't even crack the MVP leaderboard. But both SGA and KD are doing amazing things on losing teams. What about the players who are playing like the league's most valuable player on winning teams? Like Devin Booker. Booker is leading a title-contending team to one of the best records in the NBA. And he's averaging career highs across the board in production and efficiency, putting up 28, 6, and 5 a game. The man was first team All-NBA last season, and he's playing even better this season. But this season is not like any other, because Devin Booker is 8 on the MVP ladder. Oh, but what about Joel Embiid? The beast in the East just put up one of the greatest regular season performances in NBA history. No, really. Embiid's 59-point bomb against the Jazz last week was the 7th best regular season game in league history. Yeah, that guy is 6th on the MVP ladder. 32, 10, and 5 a game.
Yeah, what about
Literally
Ja?
prime Shaq numbers. And the man hasn't
That's
even
what he
cracked
should
the
be
top
doing every
5.
season.
You've never seen this before, and neither have I.
That's
The
expected.
MVP race this season is deeper than it's ever been. What was once considered a historically great season may not even earn a player any MVP votes at all this season. The standard for what it takes to be the most valuable player in the NBA has reached an all-time high, and it's going to take an all-time season to win the coveted award. Hope you all enjoyed. And as
I
always,
sure did, because there's a whole lot of things I didn't know. Like Curry being 10th on the list, and Luka and Akunpo and everybody playing like gods this year. Anyways, that is going to end off this vid number 39 on trending videos. We are witnessing history in the making. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.